In today's news, active positive COVID-19 cases rises to 90 in the BVI and Delta Mu variants detected among samples sent to CAPHA.
Public officers raise monies in support of Public Officer Mr. Colin Stevens.
And the BVI's 2022 budget passed in the House of Assembly. Premier Foy says it's a budget of action and not talk.
Attorney Myron Walwyn makes plea to get crime under control in order to maintain a stable economy. Also, he calls for improved air access.
And the online work permit system now only accepting new work permit applications following technical and human resource challenges.
Also, the Lions Club of Tortola Toy Drive takes center stage. Lion Maria joins us live to discuss, and the family feud to be held at the Tortola Pier Park this evening has been postponed to next Tuesday due to inclement weather. All this and so much more after word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
You value traditions. You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Welcome everybody. It's Thursday, December 16th, 2021. A terrific Thursday to each and every one of you. We're coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And I'm Kamal Haynes. And viewers, we start today's newscast on somewhat of a worrisome note, where the active positive COVID-19 cases continue to be on the rise in the British Virgin Islands, rising from the previously announced 77 now to a total of 90 as of today, Thursday, December 16th. Well, this was announced by Minister for Health and Social Development Carvin Malone during a press conference held earlier this afternoon following the arrival of some 4,680 Pfizer vaccines and 2,000 AstraZeneca vaccines in the BVI.
Today, December 16th, the Virgin Islands has recorded a total of 2,922 positive cases, including 117 tests that were conducted today. Of the cases recorded, there are 2,793 recoveries, 39 deaths, and I am reporting that there is a rising total. So today, there are 90 positive cases. Indeed, we are not out of the woods. And gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to remain vigilant. COVID positive cases are on the rise regionally and internationally as well. Since its publication of December 6, 2021, CAPHA is reporting that an additional 13,682 cases of COVID-19 were confirmed in 32 countries within the Caribbean.
Well, Minister Malone also said that the Caribbean Public Health Agency has warned regional governments that the increase of more positive cases will continue across the region as the risk of further cases are very high. Well, according to the agency, regional governments should now place emphasis on heightening their COVID-19 suppression measures to prevent major spreads from occurring. Malone reminded residents of the recent spike in July this year and encouraged residents to adhere to all of the COVID-19 protocols to prevent the recurrence of that horrid period.
Here at home, I feel the need to remind us about the surge we had back in July that claimed the lives of 38 persons, 38 of our families, our friends, and our loved ones. We do not want another situation like that to befall us. We are in the midst of the holiday season, and traditionally, it is a time filled with mass gatherings, love, laughter, and close contact. But these are not normal times. We are not in a normal situation, and therefore we cannot proceed as normal. We have to follow the public health protocols that have been given or had been guiding us well almost over these past 2 years. Let us not stray away from that. Wash or sanitize your hands for 20 seconds. Wear your mask and ensure that it is properly covering your nose and mouth. Maintain a physical distance of 3 feet and cover coughs and sneezes, regardless of your vaccination status. Over the last 3 days, we continue to see the COVID-19 positive cases increasing. Despite the fact that the clusters of positive cases are under control and quarantined, we cannot help but reiterate the importance of limiting social gathering, wearing masks, reducing close contacts, limiting the amount and volume of partying, Christmas season, and other social interactions or Christmas events. Christmas season must go on.
Well, viewers, in the meantime, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Ronald Georges confirmed that the Delta and Mu variants of the COVID-19 virus have been detected in the territory. Well, he said samples of the positive cases continue to be sent to the CAPHA facility to be tested for the new Omicron variant and any other variants of interest.
There's the Omicron variant, which we have heard is several times more transmissible than the previous variant. There's the Delta variant, which is several times more transmissible than the variants before it. Currently in the territory, we send samples off to CAPHA on a regular basis, and we have identified both Delta and Mu variants in the territory. We are well aware of how Delta functions. We continue to send samples to look out for the Omicron variant. We know the Omicron variant is more transmissible than the Delta, and a lot is not yet known about the impact Omicron will have on populations. This is why governments all around the world are taking additional efforts to ensure that we reduce the potential impact of Omicron.
Well, viewers, Dr. Georges encouraged residents to continue to seek vaccination and warned those who present any symptoms to isolate between 7 to 10 days after the first symptom and seek testing to confirm whether the COVID-19 virus is present within their system. Well, Ron, this is obviously some very concerning news. We would have seen it in the territory just a few days ago where we would have reported that there were 77 positive cases. We see this number continue to rise. It's at 90 presently, and it goes back to that very critical message that the Chief Environmental Health Officer would have left with us basically after the Lobster Fest, where he would have said that the true aspect or the true assessment of the Lobster Fest could only be ascertained and measured 14 days after the event.
That is
correct. And now we're seeing somewhat of a rise now in cases across the territory, more specifically on Tortola, where we're seeing now somewhat 90 cases in the BVI.
That is true, Kamal. We do have to continue to stay vigilant while living our lives to the best of our abilities. Continuing on the public scene, the Public Service of the Virgin Islands partnered with non-profit organizations during this year's Public Service Week to assist Public Officer Colin Stevens with his rehabilitation efforts. Now, local company walkers and non-profit organizations such as the BVI Red Cross and Rotary Clubs of the Virgin Islands made financial contributions that would go towards therapy sessions and, of course, the purchasing of a hoist, as well as a food voucher that would assist Stevens' recovery. Now, His Excellency Governor John Ranking, during the Christmas Jamboree held on December 10th, said, and I quote, "I have been able to speak to Colin, and what has happened to him is a terrible injury, but from what I can tell, he is a man of great spirit, and we will continue to give our best to him during this time of need. I know people have been generous, and I hope that their generosity can make a difference for Colin, a fellow public servant." Deputy Governor of the Virgin Islands, Mr. David D. Archer Jr. said, and I quote, "It is good to be able to be here to support our fellow public officer Colin during this time, and I must commend you all for your efforts to assist him in the recovery. It is in moments like these that officers come together as a family to support each other, and I find the generosity amazing." With 30 physical therapy sessions remaining, law firm Walkers made an $800 contribution to the completion of the sessions, while Rotary Clubs of Tortola and Rotown made contributions of $1,500, and of course Rotary Clubs of Sunrise made an additional $1,500 towards the contributions respectively. The BVI Red Cross donated food vouchers to for 6 months to Mr. Stevens, as well as the Rotary Clubs of Sunrise and Rotown and Central Tortola also made contributions towards that effort, which were $1,500, $500, and $2,200 respectively towards the purchasing of a hoist. Now, representative of local farm at Workers said, and I quote, "It was important to Walker's family to make a contribution to Colin's care in the knowledge that every little counts. We look forward to seeing Colin walk again, and we will continue to keep him in our thoughts and prayers. Now, viewers, representatives from the BVI Red Cross and Rotary Clubs of the Virgin Islands said they were pleased to be part of his initiative to assist Colin to be able to walk again, and wished Mr. Stevens all the best on his journey towards recovery. Colin Stevens was involved in a lone vehicular accident on the 5th of December 2019, which saw his vehicle flipping over an embankment and tumbling down a hill. He received life-threatening injuries, which resulted in him becoming paralyzed. He was a diligent public officer who worked as a member of Her Majesty's Customs as a customs officer. Now, the initiative started with the planning committee deciding to raise funds as a means to cover the expenses of Colin's therapy sessions. He has 30 sessions left at $100 per session. We continue to wish him the very best in his recovery, and we also want to take this opportunity to commend the public service led by the Deputy Governor of the Virgin Islands and all public officers across the territory, as well as other non-profit organizations and the firm Walkers for stepping in and assisting in this regard.
Indeed. Well, viewers, up next, the BVI's 2022 budget passed in the House of Assembly. Premier says it's a budget of action and not talk. And attorney Myron Walwyn makes a plea to get crime under control in order to maintain a stable economy. Well, he also calls for improved air access. With these and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, government's 2022 fiscal budget, which is said to be a budget of action and not just talk, was passed through the House of Assembly late Wednesday, December 16th. While the entire debate was processed for the Appropriation 2022 Act 2021 was conducted virtually for the first time in the BVI's history, which according to Deputy Speaker Neville Smith saw 8 legislators voting in favor of the budget and 4 legislators reported absent. Well, notably, during the voting process, opposition legislators Melvin Mitch Turnbull, Julian Fraser, Mark Vanterpool, and leader Marlon Penn were recorded as absent. Likewise, when the 6th District Representative Alvira Maduro Keynes was called on to vote, there was no response, which would presumably indicate she too was absent on the voting. Well, the budget totals $397,179,331 and is the 4th budget to be passed by under the Andrew Foy-led administration in just 3 years. Premier Minister of Finance Andrew Foy, while wrapping up the budget debate, said it was his government's goal to abide by the constitutional requirements to have all budgets under his administration passed within the specified timelines.
Your government vowed from then to ensure that all budget estimates and under our watch will remain aligned with the mandates of the Constitution. And let me say that is indeed a challenge over the years to see that done. So we take pride as a government knowing that we have done so with the 2020 budget. In those 2020 budget estimates, which was passed in 2019, which was significant, as this meant that we passed 2 budgets in 1 year, one in April and the other in December of 2019. Mr. Speaker, that sounds so simple just to say, but the volume of work that entails, as they say in, I think in scripture and in Buju Banton's song, the half has never yet been told. And for that, I truly have to commend the Ministry of Finance team.
Well, Premier Foy said the practice of passing critical bills such as the territory's fiscal budget was oftentimes passed late in the House of Assembly. Well, he made specific mention to the National Democratic Party's administration, which he said failed to pass the 2019 budget as required in 2018.
This is your government's 4th budget in 3 years. Rarely in theory, all the budgets belong to government, but this is all 4th in 3 years, although we've been there for 3 years. And the first budget was the 2019 budget estimates, which were prepared by the former government, but did not move forward through the processes to be passed by the House of Assembly. And it should have been passed before the end of 2018 constitutionally. But it was not passed then, and that seemed to have been the norm. Hence, this government had to hit the ground running and get the already late budget passed, which called for immediate meetings, just like what we are doing here with standing finance, and before that meetings with your ministry. But the budget was already formed, so there was nothing much you can do with that budget. So we didn't have much time to do so with much changes, but with God's help we were able to get that budget passed. But note, this budget was assembled, as I said before, by the immediate past administration, that based on the Constitution, it should have been passed before the start of the actual budget year. Simply put, the 2019 budget should have constitutionally been passed in 2018.
Well, viewers, the leader of government business further said that the budget presented by his government for the fiscal year of 2022 is a budget of action and not one of just talk.
While we are speaking about this year's budget, I want to say that I will be very brief, because this is not a budget of talk. This is a budget of action. And over the next few months, no matter how much we speak now, within the next few months, people will forget if they do not see any action. Mr. Speaker, we're dealing with high demands and limited resources. And yes, there are those who do not want us to remember the challenges that we have faced. And I must say, Mr. Speaker, that it's tempting to respond to a lot of the misinformation that has been disseminated in this budget debate. And might I add, nothing to do with the budget, just to do with trying to play with the people's minds, trying to see things through a negative light. Mr. Speaker, but we know that I always say this, that while I respect Broson's point of view, we also know that a lie has speed, but truth has endurance.
Well, viewers, that Appropriation 2022 Act 2021 comes into effect from January 1st, 2022.
Well, viewers, up next we are joined by Lion Maria as the Lions Club of Tortola continues to do remarkable things with their toy drive coming up. We have all the details of that, as well as a statement from Lion President Mr. Kevin Foy and the Governor of the Virgin Islands, John Ranking. All this and so much more after word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey, from chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangara, Justin Lake, not forgetting Anigata. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness.
Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. I'm honored this evening to be joined by Lion Maria as the Lions Club of Tortola continues to do remarkable things. They have been busy all year long, and they still have not stopped. They have an annual toy drive, which is coming up. Lion Maria, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to 284 News.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for having us here.
Absolutely. Begin by telling us about this initiative, please.
Okay, so this is our second annual toy drive. Our toy drive was the brainchild of one of our newest members in 2020, in Socia, and the club decided to make it one of our signature projects. So this year we are working again in partnership with Tree of Hands, and that has been very successful. And we are basically having our toy drive on December the 24th. That's when we will be distributing the toys. And what we have done is that we have placed boxes in various supermarkets and stores so that persons, when they're shopping for their kids, they can pick up an extra toy and they can drop it in the box. It doesn't have to be wrapped or anything like that. They can just buy a toy, drop it in the box, and we will get the toys.
Beautiful.
So that's pretty much what we've been doing for our toy drive.
So when will the distribution take place, and do persons still have time to contribute to this initiative?
Yes, definitely. So far we've received donations from Rotang Wholesale, we've received donations from iSmart, Flow Small Business, and yesterday the governor's office, and today actually we're receiving from Citco. So members of the public do have time to drop their gifts in. The locations are at Rotang Wholesale Cash and Carry. We have locations at iSmart, Five Girls Limited, I don't want to lose anybody, Clarence Thomas Limited, Bolo's Department Store, yes I did call that, One Mart Superstore, JNC Trading, and Caribbean Sellers. So, and of course, if you know any one of our Lions members, feel free to just call us or drop a message on our Facebook page and we can collect the gift from you.
Wonderful. Now tell us about the actual distribution. When will that take place and how will it be done? Is it a case where names have been selected? Will you be addressing various communities? How will that take place?
Yes, Ron. So last year we partnered with local organizations to get lists of persons, of the children that we can donate gifts to, and they gave us lists starting from 1 month all the way up to 17
Beautiful.
years. We did think 17 years was a bit much for a toy.
I agree.
So this year we limited it to 14 years.
Okay.
We are currently still struggling to get gifts on the 9 to 14 year category, especially for girls. I don't know why,
Okay.
but it is something that we need right now. We are short about 400 gifts, so we are appealing to the community. Please, we need more girl gifts. The distribution will take place on Christmas Eve, and with the Tree of Hands, we are going to be doing the Lions Club of Tortola. We'll be going to do the western side of the island, and the Tree of Hands will do the eastern side. Last year we tried to do everything along with Santa Claus, and I believe he got a bit tired.
Okay.
Or maybe he wanted a drink, I'm not sure. But this year we decided to split it up.
Understand, and I thank you so much for that clarification. Of course, Lion President has some remarks, as well as we caught up with the governor who contributed to the initiative, John Ranking. Take a look at these viewers.
Christmas is a time of year when family and friends get together to celebrate the Christmas message. It's also a time when we think of those who may be less fortunate than ourselves and could do with a little bit of help at this time of year. And so I'm delighted that at a Christmas reception which was held at Government House a few days ago, we asked all the guests coming to kindly consider bringing a toy with them which could be distributed to children in the BVI. And the response was very generous. We've received a huge number of toys that can help children who might not otherwise be getting everything that they would hope for at Christmas. And I'm delighted that we're going to be working in partnership with Lions and with Rotary, who are going to help to distribute these toys to children at this Christmas time. I hugely welcome the volunteers who work with both Lions and Rotary, the tremendous organisations helping others in the BVI, and this is a little part of my and the Governor's Office contribution to their good work. I hope it brings a Merry Christmas for some children.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Lions Club of Tortola, I would like to extend or thank you to you, Governor, and everyone that donated these toys that we can use to distribute in our community to help all of our kids that are in need, that may not have or be able to have the Christmas like most kids in the territory. And this is a very good initiative that we started last year. We're doing our toy drive, and just the look on these kids' face that you see when they receive these toys and the joy that they have, it's a very special moment. It's a very special occasion, and we're just happy that we can be able to put some joy in these kids' life during this Christmas season. So on behalf of the Lions Club of Tortola, we just want to say thank you, and this is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, and thank you, Lions, for all that you do.
That was Governor of the Virgin Islands, His Excellency John Ranking, alongside Lion President Mr. Kevin Foy. Lion Maria, this event, I'm sure, could not be possible without a number of partners and sponsors. Before we go, can you tell us who some of your contributors are?
Okay, Ron, sure. It's always good, of course, to give thanks back, and we give thanks back to our corporate sponsors, Rotang Wholesale, iSmart, Flow Small Business, of course, the Governor's Office with the many gifts, and Sitco today. And we know that we will be having more corporate sponsors coming forward because it's still early as yet. And we also thank the members of the community, not only for the toy drive, but for our season of kindness. Our Christmas was so busy.
Yes.
And we have done a lot of other projects, including our food basket, our food drive, and it's heartwarming to see the response of the members of the community. So we want to say a very hearty thank you from the Lions Club of Tortola, and we thank you too, Ron, and 284 Media for being with us. And also we want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year when it comes.
The very same to you, and thank you so much for your continued work of excellence. Viewers, before we go, we need to remind you that the Tortola Pear Park Family Feud that was scheduled for this evening has been postponed to next Tuesday. In an invited comment, we spoke to officials today, and they did say that this is due to inclement weather. So teams have an added opportunity to sign up for the Family Feud initiative, which is a part of the Tortola Pear Park's 3 Days of Christmas initiative. It's a family event with lots of fun and lots of prizes that really will go to charity. In case you missed the interview with myself and CEO alongside Marketing and Development Manager, you can visit our website as well as our Facebook page for that. Viewers, we have gotten to the end of another newscast. We want to thank you so much for your time. In case you have missed it, you can visit our website, our Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter for a number of our articles as well as interviews that we do on a consistent basis. A happy Thursday to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant.
And I'm Kamal Haynes. Viewers, and don't forget to follow us for our daily news updates at 284media.com. Like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes. Viewers, and have a great evening.
Bye-bye.